So you want to learn on how to get back into the gym after a long break. Hey, I'm Nick Andrade, here to help you with health, mindset, and a little bit of swagger. So how are you doing? How are you doing through being quarantined like this? What's keeping you busy? What are your passions? What are you trying to do? Like, what is honestly keeping you sane through this? I'll tell you honestly, I just been killing it with my workouts and been doing a lot of fishing, which is, I'm having a blast. It's just something I used to do growing up. So yeah, I hope you're hanging in there, because honestly it's a little bit rough, but if you have a plan, if you know that you're going to get through this, you're going to be just fine. So getting back to the gym, we're all wondering when they're going to open up, and we're hoping that by the end of April 30th. Getting back to the gym, I just don't want you to go into the gym and just do your typical routine that you've been doing for a while, right? Let's start it off different. I want you to ask yourself this and legitimately answer it. What is your goal? I know I ask you a lot of this, but if you don't have a goal, what are you going to be doing at the gym? There's 1, building muscle, 2, burning fat, and then you could set these goals. How are you going to get there? Building muscle, absolutely, you're hitting the weights. Burning fat, yes, you're still hitting weights, but there's things you got to do to get there. So what are these goals? Is it building muscle? And if it is, how are you going to get there? Or is it burning fat? And if that is answer, again, how are you going to get there? So whatever your goal is, 2 main things I would focus on right off the bat would be sleep and nutrition. So you decide on your goal, and that will dictate the rest. So if I want to build muscle or burn fat, we got to have a program in play, right? Without a specific program, you're just gonna kind of wander on with your workouts, and you're not gonna have an idea on when to switch it. It's best to have a start date and when you're going to end it, and when you're going to begin a new one based on that goal. Again, I feel like this beanie looks big on my head. So you figured out your goal, and now we got to put a program in place. My goal is to burn as much fat as possible. So this program that I'm going to run is called GBC, German Body Composition Training. And what this program does is, you're going to be doing 6 exercises, but these exercises are bigger movements. Starting from the very first exercise is going to be a big compound movement, and you're going to taper down into something a little bit smaller, because what this program is very short rests between sets. You're focused on a lot of time under tension. So the time under tension for each exercise is changing, as you're going to see. I typed it out, what I'm going to do, and I want you to follow along with me if your goal is to burn as much fat as possible while putting on muscle. So if you're trying to put on muscle, this is a good exercise too, but this is also good to do if you have never done something like this before. And this is a great workout to do if you're just getting back to the gym. So make sure you do follow along. If you're going to follow along, please let me know, because I want to know who's following along so I could be at help when you do need it. So make sure that you see on the program, you're going to see 4 by meaning X, 4 by 4 or 6 reps. Your goal is to hit that 6 reps. And then in the parentheses, that's the time under tension. So the first number is the negative, the eccentric part that you really want to really focus on. After that, you have the rest. So it'd be 10 seconds. After that, then hit the other movement for the required reps and the time under tension. And we're going to be doing that for 4 sets, 4 rounds. So this is going to kind of show you what have you been doing for the past couple months or years. This is going to show you what kind of training age you really have. So make sure you do screenshot those workouts that I put up. This is just something different. This is something for me. I want to get to a goal. My deadline is May 20th, so I want to make sure that I'm able to do a program that allows me to get to my goal in a faster period. I'm running my diet. Diet is super important, and we're going to talk about the importance of sleep too, because you're going to want to sleep when you're running this program. Sleep is going to be your best friend. No matter what program you're running, sleep is overall the thing that a lot of us don't take into consideration. Now we have to identify what's going to be easy for us once we get back into the routine and what's going to be hard when we get back into the routine. So if that's getting to bed early consistently, is that going to be hard or easy? Is getting to the gym going to be easy, hard? Is eating good quality food going to be easy or hard? Or what about water intake? Something so simple that a lot of us don't drink enough water. Matter of fact, when the more active you are, the more your body's gonna need water. That actually will help you lose weight if your goal is to lose weight, or if your goal is to put on muscle. Water is going to be your best friend too. Now I want you to think about, once you identify what's going to be easy, what's going to be hard, I want you to number them. You are going to rank them 1 if there's something that needs to be a priority for you to focus on consistently until it isn't a priority of yours. You just do it naturally. Or if there's a 10 meaning it's just without a doubt you do it already without questioning yourself. It's just part of your routine. You have to understand that this is how you're going to adapt. This is how you're going to get better. So you need to put that in consideration. Is what are the things you lack at? Getting water is something that you're terrible at, then you need to make it a priority. If eating healthy, good quality food is something that you suck at, you need to make it a priority, right? If these goals are important to you, getting in shape, you're going to do them. It's going to set you apart from the rest, is being able to do these things that not a lot of people put into consideration. These are things that I talk to about my clients all the time. How many days out of the week are you trying to train? I know I put one there, and the program we're doing is 4 days out of the week. What frequency, out of the week, how many days are you trying to work out? That's going to be on where you're trying to go. If your body is used to training 5-7 days a week, your body adapt to it. Now it's time to do something different. This is a perfect time for you to do something. Getting back to the gym after a long break. And let me tell you, this is a long break. And seriously, you need to think about how many days of the week are you trying to train. And you need to switch it up every 4 to 6 weeks. So frequency does matter. And if you don't think about that, then you need to. Because that's going to change the game for seeing the results you want to see. So let's wrap up frequency. Frequency, how many days a week are you training, and what were you doing before, and how long were you doing that for? Because that is a great starting point. If you know how long you've been training for, it's time to switch it up, especially getting back. The word frequency, yes, has to do with how many days are you going to the gym and working out, but also has to do with the duration of a specific program you are running. And everybody adapts different. For me, my training age is pretty high, and I know after a 4-week, possibly after a 5-week period, I'm going to change up my workout to a different program. Your body does adapt, and that's when eventually it's time to move on to new exercises and utilizing new energy systems based on your goals. That's why knowing your goal is so important, so we could put in a program that's going to target that goal. Now, you saw that specific split that I wrote down. It is 5 days a week you're training. How it was written, you're constantly taking off on a different day, so that it's just allowing your body to rest, but also seeing how your body responds. So we're working with a two on. You're training 2 days on, 1 day off, and you're going to repeat that until you train 5 days a week. And you're going to repeat it for two things I like to tell my people. It's either we got to get through this because we have to hit the priorities. We got to focus on the priorities that's going to allow you to progress. Right off the bat too, I make sure that they're not bored with it. And sometimes you will get bored with a program, and if you do, notice that and change it up a little bit. Doesn't mean change up how many times you go to the gym, but change up the way you're hitting these exercises. That's the number one thing, is I don't want you to get bored and then not continue going after that goal. It's a real thing. That's how people taper off, it's because they're bored of doing the same thing over and over again. That's like hitting the same split, focus on one body part at a time. It gets boring after a little bit. It does. And it's okay, though, to change it up. You could always come back to that split that you focus on one body part at a time. But once you start changing it up every 4 to 6 weeks Alright, so I want to end the video on training time. And I think this is a big topic that a lot of us maybe do not realize on how important it really is. I didn't really think about growing up when I was training all the time, like every single day. You have to understand how your body works, and if at the end of the day, if you are feeling really tired, and that goes with maybe if you're working a 8 to 5, in that case, I want you to really realize on, like, are you feeling tired when you're working out? Do you feel fatigued? I believe it's the best to kind of document figuring out what times are the best for you to train. For me, I'm an early riser. I like to do things in the morning, so I believe if you could find time in the morning to train, to get your workout in before work, I bet you'll feel a lot more productive throughout your day. It just goes about figuring out what works for you. Like, if you've been training for a certain point for a long time, your body's adapted to that time, but I believe that you should break that up and try something different if you're kind of getting a little bored, but also feeling like you're just drained by the time you start your training. So I believe that it would be best for you to switch it up and see how your body responds to that. You might have really good workouts if you've gone from working out from the evening to working out early in the morning. It might work out better for you. But I want to get someone else involved in this, and I want to end the video with someone else on his point of view, and he's been doing this a lot longer than me, and I just want you to hear from him on what he has to say. Here's Coach Leo.
So it's a great topic Nick has presented you guys with. So optimal training time and frequency. It's been something that's debated for a long time. Do I train in the morning? Do I train in the evening? How often do I train? And the answer in the strength conditioning world isn't always what everybody's looking to hear. The answer typically with strength training is it depends. It depends on different life factors, like Nick was talking about. How much stress is involved? How do you feel? How's your performance? There's also, are you adequately intaking quality nutrients so you can recover? Are you sleeping enough? So to tackle the optimal training time one, we're going to look at what's the optimal testosterone peak for people throughout the day. And people typically, especially men, peak twice throughout the day. One is earlier in the morning, which you can kind of imagine around what time that is. And then one is somewhere between 2 to 5 p.m., I believe. So the best option is to attempt both, but make sure the variables are controlled. Make sure it was off a good night of sleep and you've been eating well. And see which one you felt better, you performed better, you were able to push heavier weights with good control. And if you're able to bring the quality of the session up, then typically you've found your optimal training window. So when it comes in terms of frequency, though, that's very dependent on the quality of the sessions. You know, there's plenty of people that can handle 6-7 days of workouts per week, but if you're actually going to train and you're training hard, then most people should never train more than 4 times a week. People that are busy and have a lot of stress in their life and don't recover well or don't sleep great should keep it on the lower end. 3 days a week is I usually back volume off if I see a lack of performance or they're not progressing from one training session to the next. Then I'm going to actually first back their volume down, and if they still don't perform, that's the only time I'm actually going to up the volume. The most I ever prescribe, though, is 5 days a week of training, and that's typically to your outliers. The mass majority of people, the 70% of the population, which I fall in that category as well, and I know how to recover well, I know how to eat well, working on the sleep thing, but typically I sleep pretty well. 4 days a week, that's all I train. The quality of the sessions is what matters most. If you're able to down your training frequency and you're getting better quality sessions, you're actually going to get better results. So, you know, garbage reps equal garbage results. So it all depends on how good of a quality session you can make it for yourself. So control the variables and then test which time of the day you perform better. Keep it a log. You know, Nick has talked before about keeping a workout journal. That's crucial because that's your own data. That's the only thing that's going to tell you whether a specific time in the day is better for you or not, because you're going to change from week to week. You need to know and be able to look at data and say, well, I performed 10% better on the evening session than I did on the morning session. Well, there you go. Proof is in the pudding. Now your data shows it. It backs up what you already believe. So now you don't need anybody to tell you what the best time of day to train is. You've actually figured it out yourself with a little bit of help with some guidelines of why. So that's really all I wanted to share with you guys on frequency and optimal training time. And thanks for having me on here, Nick.
No problem. No problem. Thanks, Leo. Cool. All right, you just listened to here actually. Hey, if you liked the video, make sure that you comment, like it, share it, and tell me what you want to see next in the next video. And also, if you're going to try the program, let me know, because I want to know how you're doing and if you're going to do it properly. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking your time out of your day watching this. And make sure you do subscribe, because it helps my channel grow and it helps me being able to keep making videos, because I really do enjoy this. So other than that, enjoy your day. Stay zeroed in.